So let's get started. So to celebrate the upcoming launch of my 12-week online program, Greens, Grains, Gorgeous, which I'll tell you all about at the end of this call, I've created this 3-webinar series where I'm going to reveal all of my biggest secrets for effortless weight loss, radiant beauty, and a calmer, less stressed out life. Sounds pretty good, huh? Well, these webinars are just a sneak peek of what's to come in Greens, Grains, Gorgeous, and I'm so pumped to share these juicy tips with you. For all of you who are new to my mailing list and online community, I just wanted to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I am a board-certified holistic health and nutrition counselor, a writer, and a wellness expert. I'm the founder of New Health and Wellness, the organic beauty blog, and, of course, the forthcoming Greens, Grains, Gorgeous. Although I've been in practice as a holistic nutritionist for about 3 years, my passion for health and wellness has been lifelong, and it really stemmed from a need to heal my own imbalances in the most healthy, easy, and enjoyable ways possible. My areas of expertise came out of these issues that I myself struggled with in my 20s, and they really gave me the ability to uniquely address the needs of my clients. Though my clients come to me with a variety of health and wellness concerns, I focus primarily on digestive disorders, hormonal imbalances, stress management, and, of course, healthy, sustainable weight loss. My clients come to me after having tried countless approaches to weight loss and optimal health that have all left them feeling frustrated, confused, and ultimately no better off than where they started. So if you're anything like them, and even like myself, you too have tried countless methods for reaching and maintaining your ideal weight. Seems like every year a new diet or theory pops up and we all just jump right on board hoping that this time it'll stick. Maybe 1 or 2 of these approaches have worked for you. Maybe you even lost some weight. And yet, if you're here, it means you're probably still craving sweets or carbs, reaching for coffee or snacks at 4 p.m. just to have enough energy to get through the day. You're still not feeling satisfied by your meals. You're having digestive symptoms like gas and bloating, stomach aches, or, worse. You're regaining the weight the second you slip up, losing motivation, and ultimately you're feeling frustrated as hell. So here's why. It's not just what you're eating. It's when and how. You can be on the world's healthiest diet of kale and spinach, quinoa and whole grains, lean proteins, etc., and you'll still not be getting the results you want because of this simple fact. So let's explore how you're probably eating. And when I say you, I mean pretty much all of America. Most days you wake up, you snag a quick breakfast, usually on the run, and that oh-so-vital cup of coffee that helps you function after waking up exhausted. You're typically able to make it to lunch without getting too snacky, right? Lunch rolls around, and you're probably eating the typical American lunch of soup, a salad, maybe a sandwich, right? Does this sound familiar? You're probably eating it in front of your computer, or in a meeting, or in an otherwise rushed and distracted state. This lunch maybe keeps you satisfied for about 3 hours, right? At which point your blood sugar crashes and you're reaching for another cup of coffee or another snack at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. just to get through the day. And then comes dinner. So you're typically starving and could eat a house, which means that this is probably going to be the biggest meal of your day, right? You're going to have some animal protein if you eat meat, some grains, some veggies, all this on a good day, of course. On a bad day, you're ordering in takeout or pizza or Chinese or other crap like that. And odds are you're probably eating your dinner in front of the TV. I'm guessing at least most of this sounds pretty familiar to a lot of you, right? Let's see a show of hands. Does this seem like kind of par for the course for you? Okay, most of you are raising your hands. All right. Well, listen, it's no wonder, it's not your fault. It's just how you've been eating your entire life, how you were taught to eat. But here's what happens when you eat in this typical American fashion. You experience unstable blood sugar, which is what's happening every day at 3 or 4 p.m. or when you're coming home absolutely famished. This also leads to cravings, When your blood sugar is all over the place, your body is going to crave simple energy, right? A cupcake from the break room, chocolate, chips, simple carbs, all that waistline busting stuff. You're also probably experiencing low energy, elevated stress levels during the day, the need to snack, poor digestion, not ideal sleep, fatigue, caffeine and sugar addiction, and of course, that dreaded weight gain. Well, guess what? It doesn't have to be this way, and you don't have to live like that. This isn't a matter of you having poor self-control or a slow metabolism. This isn't your genes, and it isn't necessarily even your fault. You're just eating the way our culture eats, and unfortunately, it's screwing up your body. The approach to eating that I'm about to share with you liberates you from all this crap. You can feel in control, empowered, energized, balanced, and naturally and easily reach your body's happy weight, all by making some simple changes to the way you're eating. I call this approach the new way of eating, but to be honest, it isn't new, and I didn't even invent it. I simply honed and modernized a way of eating that goes all the way back to our hunter-gatherer ancestors, to ancient health and lifestyle teachings like Ayurveda, to traditional cultures, even Western European cultures like France and Italy and Spain. And most importantly, this way of eating works in line with your body's natural rhythm, which makes it easy and natural, unlike the majority of diets that are out there, many of which you may have tried. So here's what the new way of eating looks like. You wake up nice and early because of your amazing night's sleep and your general increase in energy. You enjoy a chilled out breakfast at home or anywhere seated not in front of your computer or the TV. You rock delicious, healthy foods like smoothies, sprouted whole grain toast with nut butter, oatmeal, eggs, whatever floats your boat. You have tons of energy throughout the morning. You get to lunch with a healthy appetite, and you enjoy a nice, big, satisfying meal. Again, not in front of your computer or in any kind of rushed, stressed out state. You eat super yummy and filling foods like burrito bowls, healthy proteins with grains and veggies, your favorite healthy Asian foods like stir fries and curries, and you actually give your body the energy and the sustenance it needs when it needs it. This large meal, which is the crux of the new way of eating, gets you through the rest of your day in a nourished, balanced state with no need for snacking, no 4 p.m. blood sugar crash. And you arrive at dinner time without that I could eat a house level of hunger. You're able to enjoy a light, relaxing dinner, preferably at the table, of course, and eat easily digestible, vegetable-based foods like soups or salads or cooked veggies, and suddenly your life has changed. So this brings me to the number one secret to sustained healthy weight loss, what I call the lunch-dinner switch. So here's a breakdown of the 5 simple steps of the new way of eating that are going to completely revolutionize your body, your energy, and yes, even your life. Number 1, you eat 3 meals a day. None of this 6 small meals crap. There is no need for snacking when you're rocking these steps. And these 6 small meals that have become really popular of late are really just turning everyone into a bunch of hypoglycemics because it's making your body unable to stabilize its own blood sugar. Horrible, horrible, horrible idea. Step 2, you make each meal satisfying enough to get to the next without feeling hungry. Step 3, and this is the most important step, you make lunch the biggest meal of your day. This is completely opposite to how the majority of Americans eat, and this is what is really going to change your life. Feeding your body longer digesting foods like whole grains and protein at a time when your digestion is actually able to handle it in midday, when you actually have the time to burn it off because you have the rest of the day of being active and working and running around, and when your body actually needs the energy, it's going to just completely revolutionize your blood sugar levels, your metabolism, your body's natural ability to lose weight and burn fat, everything. It is phenomenal. Step 4, you make dinner light, easy, and vegetarian. So even if you're a meat eater, this is a crucial step. You want to be avoiding hard to digest foods at dinner time. So you feed your system foods that are super quick digesting, like vegetables. So by the time you go to sleep, your system isn't busy breaking down a huge meal, and it's able to spend the night detoxifying, recuperating, and perhaps most enticingly, burning fat. So this last step is eating as much as possible in a calm, relaxed state. This allows the body to fully digest and process your meal. It allows your brain to actually register what and how much you're eating. So this is crucial for portion control, for managing emotional eating, or other ways of, overeating, overfeeding your body. Making these 5 steps, these 5 easy steps, a part of your life, even just 80% of the time, or 5 days a week, will lead to stabilized blood sugar, no more cravings, no more need for snacking, no hunger between meals, sustained high energy levels, less stress, improved digestion, and improved sleep, which leads you to waking up rested, refreshed, with your organs detoxed, and your natural fat-burning processes maximized. And of course, the most awesome benefit of this way of eating is gorgeous, sustainable weight loss. Even if you change nothing else about what you're eating, and I'm certainly not advocating this, but even if you eat all kinds of crap, if you eat them at lunch, if you eat your biggest meal at lunchtime, and a light, vegetarian, highly digestible dinner of soup or salad or cooked veggies, you will see results. And this big lunch is what keeps you full enough to not need the big dinner. I like to use my husband as an example here. He was a little bit late to the game. He was a little bit stubborn about adopting this way of eating after we first got together. But when he finally did, when he finally committed to making time for a big lunch in the middle of the day or whenever he had time for lunch, sometimes it was at noon, sometimes it was at 2, it doesn't matter as long as, you have that time for that big lunch. On those days, he came home and he didn't even want dinner. Now, this is a guy who usually comes home ravenous, right? Immediately reaches for, nuts in the pantry or starts snacking on things. Immediately is asking what's for dinner with that kind of crazed look in his eyes. So the difference there was night and day, and it didn't even take time for his body to adjust. It was literally like on the days when he had his big lunch, it was a completely different person that came home. And, if we had a bowl of soup that night, he would be perfectly fine. Some nights he'd be like, let's just have a green juice. It was unbelievable to see this difference in him. And of course, the two of us were able to really, really easily maximize our fat burning. Our sleep got better. Our bodies just really naturally reached their ideal weight. It was phenomenal. So you will see results if you make this simple switch. And this is a way of eating that you can stick to for the rest of your life. No matter what else is going on, what life stage you're in, premenopausal, postmenopausal, in your 60s or 70s, how old you are, how many babies you've had, you will naturally stay at your body's happy weight. And if something happens, like for example, you have a baby, having this way of eating, a sustainable part of your life will make sure that you bounce right back so much faster without those years of needing to lose baby weight. Obviously you're going to have to throw in a little exercise here and there to maximize your results. This isn't going to do all the work for you, but it is going to get you like 80% of the way there if you're really able to commit to it. And once you commit to it, you're going to see how easy it is. So, if you like what you hear and you want to learn more, I encourage you to check out my new online program, Greens, Grains, Gorgeous. In this 12-week transformational program, we're going to dig really deep into the new way of eating and eating in line with what your body needs. Not only are you going to learn exactly how to eat, but you're going to learn exactly what foods make you look and feel like $1,000,000 and what foods are bringing you down. And it might not be what you think. You're also going to learn how to get to the root of and eliminate your cravings. Part of the explanation behind cravings is this blood sugar issue, but some of it is also emotional. Some of it is also lifestyle related, and we're going to get really deep into those factors. You're going to learn how to shine as your most gorgeous self, inside and out, mind and body, in the most healthy, effortless, and budget-friendly ways. You're going to learn how to stop waiting for the perfect body or the perfect set of circumstances and start living your ideal life right now. Of course, complete with learning how to get the career, the relationships, the fun, the excitement in your life that you know you deserve. All this sounds pretty transformational, doesn't it? Well, I've been working on this program for the last several months, compiling a virtual best of all the techniques and pieces of wisdom that help my one-on-one clients to change their lives and see amazing results. And I'm bringing them now to you, to the world, no matter where you are or what your budget is, in this awesome program. So if you're interested, please check out greensgrainsgorgeous.com, and you'll get all the details there, a breakdown of the program, all of that. And if you decide to sign up, mention that you were on this webinar to get some amazing early bird bonuses, including a gift bag full of my favorite wellness goodies, a private one-on-one strategy Skype session with me to set you up for success and really dig deep into your own goals and health concerns, and you'll get access to a special extended payment plan option. And lastly, stay tuned for my next free webinar in this 3-webinar series where I'll reveal my #1 secret for radiant, natural beauty, glowing skin, and lustrous hair. It is so easy, you guys. It'll be hard to believe, but believe it, this stuff is amazing. So thank you so much. I'm ready to take a few questions. So I see some of you have already typed some things into the chat box. If you haven't yet, just go into the left-hand side of your screen and type in any question that you have right there. So let's see. Okay, so I see a question coming up here. What if I don't have time for lunch? All right, this is an amazingly good question. I think the biggest issue in adopting the new way of eating that people have initially is psychological. We have this culture of not only we have these really light lunches, but we have these really rushed lunches, right? Leaving your office for 20 minutes or 30 minutes is like crazy. It's unheard of. But you know what? There are very few corporate cultures that are really going to stand in your way of taking a lunch. You have a lunch built into your schedule, right? We're not like serfs here. This is slave labor. You are entitled to having a lunch. Now, whether that lunch happens at 12 or 1 or 2 or maybe 2:30, 3 is getting a little late, but hey, if it happens at 3, it happens at 3. You need to commit to yourself to be able to take this time for you in the middle of your day. It does not have to be a full lunch hour. In an ideal world, yes. We would take an hour for lunch, we'd go, out, we would sit somewhere awesome, we'd enjoy lunch with friends or, with a book or just relaxing and eating by ourselves. I understand that that's not always the case, but you do have 20 minutes. Even if you can't leave your office, you have a break room. I'm sure there's an empty conference room. You can take your lunch in there. You can do this. There is really nothing standing in your way other than yourself. So you do have time for lunch, and it's just a matter of taking it, and you gotta take it, okay? Another question that's coming up, someone asked, how can I eat this way if my family eats differently for dinner? This is a great question. This is an awesome question. So as I mentioned with Jonathan, it took a while for him to get there. This is the thing with husbands, or boyfriends. You can tell them, this is how I want you to eat, this is what I want you to do, but unless they really see it for themselves, unless they really get there on their own, they're probably not going to start it independently, right? So what I work with my clients, most of whom are female, is just start. You just start eating this way, and your family is going to notice how phenomenal you feel. Now, if you still have to, cook a larger dinner for the rest of your family, maybe you just have the sides. So if you're cooking, salmon and quinoa and veggies for your family, maybe you just eat the veggies and the quinoa, and you don't have the salmon. Or if you're cooking a larger dinner, but there's a side salad or a soup involved, your family can eat those things, but you're going to eat the side salad or the soup. But ultimately, this happens with the majority of my clients. Their husbands and their families come around. You know, your husband or, you know, your partner, whoever it is that you're trying to get on board, is going to see you, A, losing weight, B, feeling phenomenal, feeling super energized. They're going to start waking up before them. I was waking up before my husband, and I'm like the kind of girl that usually slept until 11 without any problem. Now I'm like, oops, 7 a.m., I'm up. There's no way I'm going back to sleep. Meanwhile, you know, he's dozing until 9. But, you know, once they see these results for themselves, they're really going to want to get on board. This kind of subtext of this question is for kids. Can kids eat in this way? And the truth is they can. They need a little bit more. You know, just a soup might not quite be enough, but a soup and like a little piece of salmon, or ideally a soup and plant proteins, beans, are amazing for children. Now, you just want to make sure that your kids are also having this big lunch. So if you pack their lunch, and I hope to God that you do, unless your kids go to some amazing school that has a phenomenal school lunch program, please, please, please make the investment of time in your children's health and pack their lunches. You are in control. You can make sure they're having a nice big lunch so that they're able to not be starving by the time they get home, and they're able to have a light dinner with the rest of your family. See, another question, what are your thoughts about having a glass of wine at dinner time? Great question. Wine is totally fine. For women, the recommendation is 1 glass of wine, preferably red, because white wines have a much higher sugar content. I mean, having a glass of white wine occasionally is fine, but if you're like a glass of wine with dinner every night kind of a person, I recommend sticking with red, but keep it to 1 glass. 2 glasses of wine, and you start to increase risks of certain health problems, cancers, things like that, which we totally want to avoid. But 1 glass of red wine with dinner is perfectly fine. What you are going to notice, though, as you get into this way of eating, is that your body's going to become a little bit more sensitive, in a good way, to, you know, evening time differences. So, for example, if you do go out for dinner, as we talked about, you really only need to eat this way, like 80% of the time to get results. But on those 2 days off, you know, you go out to dinner, you have a big dinner and maybe a little bit more to drink than normal, you're going to feel it. And this is a good thing. This is your body showing you like, whoa, what's going on here? My level of sensitivity has totally changed. And it's a great thing for your body to be able to send you those signs so you can really respond. So for example, me, I can't really have a huge dinner anymore. This took me a few years to get to. I mean, I easily could have gone out and had a bigger dinner on the weekends or on one of my like days off of this way of eating before, but now, A, I'm not hungry enough, and B, even if I am hungry, I get stuffed super fast. And C, if I do eat a really big meal, I'm going to feel it the next day. I'm going to be a little bit tired in the morning, or have a little bit less energy, or my digestion's going to feel a little bit off. The interesting thing is that was the way I felt all the time before this way of eating, and that's what you're going to notice. You're going to feel so different that going back to how you feel now is going to feel like night and day, which is crazy. All right, so other questions. Is blood sugar instability the only thing causing my cravings? So as I talked about, you know, a little bit ago in this webinar, blood sugar instability is one of the biggest reasons, right? So if you're skipping breakfast, or if you're having a small lunch, and you're craving stuff at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., blood sugar instability is, I would say, 80% or more of the problem for those cravings. The other piece is stress. When you're running around, when you're having a rough day, when your adrenals are really taxed from this perpetual level of stress and overexertion throughout the day, that's another reason that can cause sugar cravings. And we deal with this a ton in Green Screens Gorgeous in the program. The other reason, so say you're craving at night, right? So say, you know, a lot of my clients come to me in the beginning and, you know, they have their light dinner, no matter what they have, they still want a little something for dessert. They're still craving something sweet in the evening. That is 100% emotional. So if you're having a sugar craving or a craving for anything after you've already eaten your meal, you know it's not hunger. You know it's not blood sugar. So the only other piece that's left is emotional. And this is a really, really serious thing. This isn't like, oh, it's emotional, it's no big deal. This is real. This is your body using sugar as a way to deal. For some people, it's a reward. You know, this is my reward for having gotten through my really long day or my tough day or whatever. For other people, it's a way of dealing with stress. For other people, it's a way of dealing with loneliness or boredom. Sugar it's a serotonin booster. So it's really, really deeply connected to a lot of non-physical issues. And again, you know, that's going to take more than just one call to get into that, but that's where all of this, the elements of, you know, stop waiting to live your ideal life, you know, as we talk about in Greens, Grains, Gorgeous, that's where really that comes into, because if you start living the life that you want right now, you're going to experience less stress, less boredom, less loneliness. You're going to have excitement in your life, which means that you're not going to need to turn to sugar for that excitement. All right, couple more questions. Is it okay to have pasta at night as long as it's vegetarian? Great question. So pasta is an interesting subject. The biggest issue with pasta is gluten. Now, gluten is a problem for most people, even regardless of having any kind of celiac or gluten sensitivity, because, as the name kind of suggests, it's glue. Gluten is a protein that has a really gluey effect on the digestive system, which means that it is not easy to digest. It is a slow digesting food. So in an ideal world, no, for dinner, it's not the best option. But that said, there are amazing options, like, for example, quinoa pasta, which is made from quinoa and corn. It's gluten-free, no wheat, which is a lot easier to digest, but still, you know, it is a grain. It does take a little bit longer. So, you know, I would say once a week, having a vegetarian pasta dish, you know, with tons of greens and tomatoes and lots of good stuff in it is totally fine, but I wouldn't have it more than that one time a week. And depending on how your body reacts to it, that may be one of your off days. Like we talked about, you want to be on like 5 days a week and 2 days a week. You can be a little more flexible. I would maybe use pasta on one of your more flexible days. Okay, one more question. What if I need to eat out for lunch? Ooh, great question. Okay. So this is something that a lot of people use as like a reason to not commit to the new way of eating, right? Like, oh my God, I don't have time to make my lunch. First of all, you do, and we can make lunch. And we can make time to make lunch, but you don't have to do it every day. By no means do you have to make your lunch every day. There are, you know, 3 days a week when I eat my lunch out. Here's the great thing about it. Eating lunch out and following the new way of eating couldn't be easier. There's so many great options out there. You just have to look in different places than where you typically might be having your lunch. Like a Panera kind of place or a soup and a salad kind of place isn't going to cut it anymore. So you want to instead be going to places like, for example, Asian restaurants, Japanese, Thai, Indian, where you can get a nice rice curry dish or even a vegetable pad thai with tons of vegetables in it and a side salad. Or, you know, if you get like a bean dish, things like that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Chipotle, one of my number one favorite places for eating lunch out. This might come as a surprise to some of you, as a nutritionist, me advocating Chipotle, but the burrito bowl, the vegetarian burrito bowl, or, you know, if you're a meat eater, their meat is actually pretty safe and well sourced. Their burrito bowl is an excellent, excellent lunch. You get a whole serving of whole grain, brown rice, choose the brown rice instead of the white, the fajita vegetables, the beans, get whatever salsas you want, which are, you know, awesome, vibrant, full of, you know, tomatoes and all kinds of great veggies, corn, things like that. Get a nice big scoop of the guacamole, which is a wonderful source of healthy fat. And you know, I would avoid the cheese, obviously. I would avoid the sour cream, but you can top it off with lettuce, and you have a super, super filling, delicious lunch that is going to get you through all the way to dinner without feeling hungry. On days when I have a Chipotle burrito bowl, I don't even necessarily want dinner because I'm still full. So awesome. Thank you so, so much, you guys, for your great, great questions. Thank you so much for being on this call. I'm so excited to have you join me. So please stay in touch. Keep an eye on your inbox for the next webinar. And hopefully I'll be seeing you in Greens Grains Gorgeous. So again, check out the website, greensgrainsgorgeous.com. I'll also have a link that should open when this window closes, which will take you right to the program information page, so you can check that out. And as always, you can email me with any questions that come up, or if you want to schedule a Skype consultation, anything like that, just be in touch. All right, everyone, stay beautiful. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.